Oh, nice, a new Lolhounds video. Wonder what it could be. Oh. 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 Shit. Given I deserve it for not touching this file for a whole month, but even still, it's a really bad feeling when you have the same idea as someone else, and bam, they delivered it first. Clearly I'm not the first person who discovered it, but I figured it out on my own without any outside help. I've got a buddy who plays Scion a bunch, and after seeing him use this strat, I knew I wanted to try it with Karthus.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
I mean, I even touched on this video in the last video I made, so, like, come on. This whole video is not just gonna go in the trash like it never happened. No, I can't accept that. So as a true Karthus main, I'm gonna tell you a few things that video didn't tell you. When does it work best? When does it fail? How do I know I should do it in the first place? Will it get me the challenger? And how do I keep my team from flaming me for playing top Karthus? These are all very important questions. But you want to know what the most important question is? How do I screw over my laner so badly that he can't possibly hope to recover? Also, how can I completely screw over their jungler? How do I intend to win a game at 15 minutes because their whole team sucks? Alright, now that you know what the strategy is, why is it so effective? How is it someone got the Challenger and Masters with this kind of strategy? Well, the answer is more simple than you'd like to think. Karthus really relies on mana a lot. His Q is relatively cheap, but you have to churn out a lot to do meaningful damage, whereas his E is really expensive, but it does a lot of reliable damage and very quickly. Blue buff can highlight the best of both of those abilities. By being able to reliably put out Qs, along with being able to sustain with your E, Karthus can kill stuff. Quick. So, important question time. How do you force a jungler to gank you? It's a very simple question with a very hard answer. I mean, you could use a bit of social engineering to bait a jungler top, either by BMing them or even proclaiming yourself as the best Karthus on the server, which could be a bit of a double-edged sword, but will probably work. Even then, though, they probably don't have much of a reason to go top unless they're absolutely sure they can kill you. But what if we really piss off the jungler? How do we practically force them to go top even if it's not the best situation to do so? Well, that's where stealing blue buff comes in. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret with this strategy. Really, it's not a strategy for first blood. It's a strategy for second blood, too. Ideally, you'll want that jungler to try to take his blue back. Karthus is immensely strong in 2v1 scenarios if he can keep his E out forever. With blue buff, he pretty much can. So in a rather idealistic scenario, we can think about you getting first blood the second you go up to top lane. Alright, that's fine and dandy. Well, that jungler still wants blue buff back, and that laner wants revenge on you. So, in a perfect world, that jungler will try to go up and gank you. That's whenever you turn the tables on them and completely kill them both. So there's no such thing as a catch-all. Sometimes this strategy flat out just won't work. I prefer taking a combat-based summoner spell anytime I start on purple side, and normally I can just walk to lane from the enemy blue buff. If there's any leeway involved in this strategy, it's when you start on this side of the map. If you have to get involved with stealing the bot side blue, you're in for a world of hurt if you do it wrong. This strategy likely won't work against strong junglers like Zac and Graves, or against strong early game laners like Pantheon or Darius. Don't bother fighting battles you likely won't win. So just to summarize, this blue buff cheese really helps you pummel down on the lane opponent really early. It lets you put the jungler behind and force them to go up and try to gank you, in which case you're most likely able to get another kill off that. And finally, it even lets you snowball to the point where the game is heavily tilted in your favor. Almost as tilted as your lane opponent.